2006, year in which Hitman Blood Money, Black, Saints Row, and Dark Messiah of Might and Magic were all released. And you want to know what they all had in common? Ragdolls. This phenomenon of flailing NPCs became something of an entertaining pastime within the pastime of gaming itself, and I know that you either still are or were a part of this group. So by the time that Grand Theft Auto 4 was released in 2008, a large portion of players paid great attention to the decadent ragdoll physics that churned out endless ragdoll videos and even got Mothers Against Drunk Driving to protest against Nico being able to stumble his way into a car and speed across the city recklessly. Needless to say, people were enthralled by the amazing physics engine, and it was around this time that the name natural motion would become synonymous with physics, especially in video games. But for many of us back then, gaming computers were not what they are today, and that also included the financial factor, and many viewers, including myself, were incredibly crafty in the ways where we could get our ragdoll fix. It was in this pursuit that natural motion would answer our demand, and sometime in 2006, Endorphin would be released to the public through what they called a Learning Edition, which was a glorified title for trial version. These days, however, you'd be hard-pressed to find the download link of the Learning Edition because Natural Motion removed just about every scrap of information from their website, and instead, you might accidentally, wink wink, find a link that gives you access to a full version somewhere out there on the internet. Described as a dynamic motion synthesis software by Natural Motion, Endorphin is basically a software that lets you simulate physics. Anyways, let's get back to accidentally finding that download link. So you click it and you install Endorphin. After that, you do what you need to do with the files, and I must tell you, congratulations, because you are now a proud user, one of thousands, if not tens of thousands, of amateur animators who utilize this software to create a wide variety of ragdoll content, the famous of which would involve epic fails and the all-famous wrestling moves that garner millions of views, many still coming in to this very day to reminisce about this particular era of ragdoll content. Looking back on these videos, you can't help but appreciate the old aesthetic of the compressed and copyrighted music playing as the blurry video plays, all edited on the legendary Windows Movie Maker. It's a period of time when YouTube was just like every other social media website at the time. Brand new, where creators were simple and they inspired people who wanted to share and partake in the same interests that others had. At its peak, Natural Motion reported that over 200,000 users had downloaded the Learning Edition and registered by late 2009. Through the passing of time, this number of course has gone down, but that doesn't stop the few hundred people left on the Endorphin Reddit page who continue to make content with this software. Now, to satisfy my own curiosity, I decided to give another shot at Endorphin, considering that the last time I did, I was 10 years old, and I had virtually no idea of what I was doing. So after playing around with Endorphin, you know, the way a normal user should, which is by making absolutely ridiculous scenarios and scenes, to say that the tool is awesome doesn't fully describe just how versatile and amazing Endorphin actually is. On its surface, it seems to be nothing more than a fun little sandbox simulation tool, but when you take a look at the various industries that have actually used the software, such as aerospace companies that simulated flight physics, it's pretty cool to see something that most users played around with to be used in real-world applications. But for people like you and I, we remember Endorphin for being the highlight of the ragdoll niche in the early 2010s, and to actually have been able to return to it in 2025 is like seeing a friend that you haven't talked to in decades. It's awesome.